Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talking Business with me, Danny Pardo. On this episode, I'm chatting with Iman, and we are going on a journey through her career in the construction industry. And you'll also find out what's really making Iman tick and what makes her the awesome human being that she is. So let's go. Let's talk business with Iman. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talking Business with me, Danny Pardo. We're back with another episode here, and today we are chatting with Iman. So, hello, Iman. How are you doing over there?
Hello, Danny. I am great. How are you?
I am very, very well, and it is a pleasure to talk to you. We've only met briefly on LinkedIn and a few messages, and about 3 minutes before this. So I get to learn all about you during this and all about what you do, and we'll get into the reasons why I really wanted to chat to you and get your story across. But before we do that, I guess we ought to find out who is Iman, who are we talking to?
Well, as you know, my name's Iman. I suppose it depends on what day you catch me on, to be honest. I mean, I'm 100% a mother. That's my first main job. And then I can be this fun, outgoing, very bubbly person, which I am 8 times out of 10. And then I can be also very introvert. So there'll be them days where I just don't want to talk to nobody. I just want to be at home. I just want a quiet day to chill out. But other than that, I am, as you says, that woman that's kind of taken a step out of the normal, as you say, roles to do construction. So that's a quick overview of me anyway.
Fantastic. I mean, I'm sure you've got lots of stories, but to squeeze them into 30 seconds there is pretty tricky. So let's go back a little bit then for your career journey. Then we'll get into this construction industry work that you do at the moment. So if we can go back to when you were, say, 16 or so, you're finishing your GCSEs. Did you think, okay, in the future, I am going to be a supervisor in the construction industry? Was that where your mind was headed?
Not at all. To be honest, though, I used to love watching things like, which I've previously said before, I used to love watching things like Grand Designs, and I think it was more like Homes Under the Hammer back then. I used to love watching shows like that, but I didn't, as a female, you don't really feel like it's something that you can do. So just as I was like leaving school, more for me, it was the hair and beauty role. Let me try the hair and beauty thing. And to be honest, Danny, I tried it. I was very good at it. It just, when something isn't for you, it wasn't personally for me. I just didn't see myself doing that as a future career further down the line. So from that, I did actually pass my hair and beauty. And then I actually started working quite early. So I've did the care work roles. I started doing care work in a nursing home. I did that for a few years. I did night shifts, and then I did domiciliary care, which is, going to the houses. And as rewarding as that was, that was still something I didn't see myself doing further down the line. Not to say that I didn't enjoy it. It's just, it wasn't something that I woke up and thought, yeah, I'm excited to go to work today. And then I've done bar work. And funny enough, I loved bar work. It's it's meeting new people. You're on the
lively
go.
and loud and non-stop. And
it's non-stop. You're on the go. You do what you need to do. And it wasn't the best paid job in the world, but I absolutely loved it. And then from that, I then had my daughter, so it was more the mother role. So obviously I took time off work, and I've been just doing my motherly duties for the past couple of years. And it was just funny. It was my mom that found the leaflet for the training day because a lot of people feel that you have to go down the college or the university route, and as great as that is, it's not for everybody. It definitely was. It was not for me. I just
what makes you say that, especially now looking back on it as well? So I mean, that's what you said back then. So you didn't do university, I say back then.
Yes.
And even now you're thinking, that was still the right decision? It doesn't sound like you have many regrets. I'm guessing by the tone of voice here. I'm not a psychologist, but
No,
it doesn't sound like you have many regrets.
I genuinely don't. Not like I said, it's not for everybody. I'm more of a physical person. I like to get stuck in. For me, if I'm shown something, I can do it straight away. And you know, it's a lot of people have different things. So for me, sitting in a classroom, don't mean to sound rude, I get quite bored. And my concentration levels, I can't physically sit there all day in a classroom. So I don't really have no regrets. So because my mom's always known what I've loved in regards to construction. So all the things I used to watch, and I took art in school and I was very good at drawing, all them kind of things. So when she seen, and I was very hands-on, you know, D&T woodshop workshop, as you did back then. So when she seen the leaflet, she was like, you can apply, you can try it. If you don't, it's fine. As soon as she gave me the leaflet, Danny, I was like, yeah, that's for me.
Really?
Yes, as soon as I seen it, I was like, I'm going to apply, going to do it.
Had it ever entered your head that maybe that's something you could do? Maybe it's an interest, or was it just not even in the kind of sphere of thinking at that point, especially with taking the time for your family and everything?
Because before, it was something I wanted to do before that. I actually wanted to do structural engineering. And I did, as much as I said I don't like classrooms, because it was something I was passionate about, I applied for the course and I did actually get on the course. But at the time of having my daughter, and I'd say it's not possible, it just would have been a lot to take on at the time. So I had to put it on the back burner. So when my little one got to a certain age, that's when my mum found the leaflet and she was like, here's some training, you can get your CSCS card, you can get on site, you can do all them things that you want to do. And as I said, as soon as I seen it, I was like, that's for me. Wow. So I applied, and it was doing the dumpers and the rollers and, you know, getting my CSCS card. And it had a lot. So it's things like abrasive wheels, asbestos awareness. There was so much packed into the course. And, you know, things like if you didn't have your maths, you could do your maths and your English and stuff like that, which I did because I got my GCSEs, but it was just nice that I could still do it as well as getting my CSCS card and things like that.
So going back to the classroom then with something you actually enjoy is very different, isn't it, than, well, I'm 18, I have to go to university, all my friends are going to university, I must go to university because everybody's going to university, you know, whereas you're like, no, but once you found your passion, sitting in a classroom is a bit different. I mean, what was the mix of your course? Was it mostly classroom, mostly practical, a bit of both?
It was a mixture. And the first couple of weeks, it was classroom based. It was just basically getting you up to speed on like your health and safety and, you know, your manual handling, things like that. And then, no, actually, I'm lying. I'm lying.
That's all right. That's what editing's for.
Majority of it was actually outdoors. Because then you had things like, you know, your Cat and Jenny, where you get to find your live services and stuff. And then there was being in a quarry, which was doing your dumpers and your rollers. And, you know, once, I think it was about 2 weeks worth of, about 3 weeks worth of classroom-based stuff. And as you said, because it's something I enjoyed, I absorbed it like a sponge. It just resonated with me so much. I didn't actually mind doing it. But being out on the quarry was so fun. It was so much fun.
It's cliche, isn't it? It's like so many times people say, find a job you'll love and you'll never work a day in your life. And it's cliche. And then you actually do it and you go, oh, they were right. Oh, yeah. It all kind of adds up, doesn't it? So
yes, it makes sense.
Yeah, you're out there, you're getting physical, getting dirty, and in all the weathers and everything as well.
Yes.
And, you know, and keeping your mind active and your body active and doing all of those things as well. So how long was that course then? A couple of years?
You know, no, it was like 2 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Shows how much I know about construction industry courses, isn't it? Should have done my research.
Yeah, it's fine because you would assume that it would be like a 3-year course. But it was like a 2-month course, And like I said, it was a lot packed into one. Because I literally absorbed it like a sponge. I have to say I did get 100% with my theory and my practicals.
Nice one.
So I have to really salute them for that, because they made it so fun. And it's not like you said, if you enjoy something, it's not like you're sitting there, I have to do it. I wanted to. So for a 2-month course, it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. And then you were able to kind of go into the industry. And talking generally here, did you start at the bottom? Were you super entry level, still learning while you were actually working, or did you get to go in then at like a supervisory level? I know a lot of people think, oh, well, when I go to work, I'm going to go straight in, I'm going to be managing people. Or did you go in and have you worked your way up? How did that happen?
Definitely, I went in and I learned on the job. So I went in as a dumper and roller driver. But literally, as soon as they put me on site, they literally threw me on a dumper. So it was a bit hard at first. It was the first time stepping on site, and I was literally the only woman on site. So it was a lot to prove in regards to stuff that I could actually do and how capable I was.
Yeah. Out of how many people is that?
That was on site at the time?
Yeah. If you were the only one, was, let's say, 30, 40 people on site, or more than that?
At the time, there was about 40 people on the site then.
Wow, 1 in 40.
Yeah. So literally everywhere I'm turning, they're just male. So it was a bit daunting to start with. But once I got into it, it was really fun. And I have to say I was really lucky, because the guys that I was actually working with, they were very accepting, very helpful. And I actually started as unpaid work just to show my capability. So I went in on like a week trial. And then it was from my week trial, because it's like I said, something that I loved. From my week trial, that's when they actually said, like, we're going to keep you on. And it was through that where I actually, from doing the dumpers and the rollers, where I got put in on groundwork. So that's where I learned groundworks and underground services and how to lay them and all that kind of stuff. I mean, the first time they asked me to get a whacker plate, didn't have a clue. I was so lost. I was like,
did you just say yes and I'll figure it out later, or did you have, to ask for instructions?
You have to fake it till you make it sometimes. I was like, yeah, I'll go and get it. Yeah. And then I went to somebody else. I was like, what's a whacker plate? And they were like, there it is. So I brought back the whacker plate.
And nobody ever knew until this moment here. So
didn't know. So I literally learned while I was at work, and I was put with a great set of guys, because you get put in a gang. So I got put with the first gang, which was doing like the water, the gas. But they went on to another job. So then I got put with another gang, and I learned so much, so much from them. And literally, so I can really say that I didn't start at like the top level where I'm telling people what to do. So no, I did. I started down there.
Wow. What were you building?
We was doing the infrastructure for the athlete village.
Oh,
yes.
Fantastic. Down obviously for the Olympics then, so a few years ago.
Yes.
So, fantastic. So without people like you, then there is no Olympics, or there's at least no, infrastructure for it. So,
no infrastructure.
Fascinating. Well, that gives me a sense now of how far back we're going. So, okay, so we're pre-Olympics, pre-2012.
Yes.
Now we're in like 2021. I honestly had to think about that. So we've moved on a bit. So in that time, then I'm going to guess you're not entry level anymore. I'm going to guess you're not doing it unpaid from your job title on LinkedIn. So what's the last, say, 10 years been then? Has it been all on the job? Have you gone and done extra qualifications? Do you do all your training whilst at work? How does the career of somebody in the construction industry kind of go for you?
Do you know what, Danny? We're not, we're not going 10 years back. We're going like 3 years back. You know, the new Olympics village, the where
Oh.
for yeah.
Oh, so I just added a decade onto your life.
I wish I started back then.
Well, you are doing well, but if you've been promoted that much in just 3 years rather than 10, that's
yes, I told you I love my job.
yeah, I should have listened.
But even in that sense, I know it's been a short amount of time, but unfortunately, when COVID happened,
Of course,
they cut a lot of their workforce. But nothing stopped me, Danny, absolutely nothing. So while I was at home, I managed to maintain my triple STS. It was like a Zoom meeting course. So you did all the work behind it and you sent in your work and, you know, so it was basically in a classroom without being in a classroom. I did my triple STS, which is the Supervisor's course. And then from that, I managed to like retrain again and just pick up on little things like my banksman. I then learned how to do the ADT, so driving bigger machinery. And then that's the thing, going back into this job now, I actually started as a banksman. And within 2 days, they realized like I'd actually had my triple STS and they realized my potential and they actually gave me my supervisor, my black hat from there.
Wow. That's brilliant. You must be so pleased and proud of yourself. That's absolutely fantastic. So,
thank you.
I mean, is there a normal working day? If we take kind of COVID out the situation for a second as we start to open up again, is there a normal working day for you? I mean, what kind of hours are we doing if we're working in construction? What kind of jobs do you do? I mean, I don't really know. I know my job doesn't have a normal working day. Does yours?
Every day is different. There's always different challenges to face. And you'd be surprised the amount of people you go through within construction, the turnover, so many different people come in and out because there's so many different trades. So there's just a lot. And it just depends on what you do because there's, like I said, there's so many different trades. So well, my role at the moment is just kind of supervising for the forklifts for like the bricking and insulation for the outside of the buildings. So even then, like even now, I'm still learning because the brickies do something different. You have the screeders, you have the insulation, they're going up in mutes. You, by the way, supervisor or not, you will not get me on a mute. Not get me on a mute.
What is a mute? I might need to put a picture of it up or something. What is a mute?
It's a scissor lift. So you know, yes.
Yeah.
Code name mute. It's a scissor lift. You would not get me on one of those at all.
What's that? Heights.
And I know I work in construction, but I can't do those scissor lifts.
This is why you do the infrastructure on the ground. It's all
on the ground.
I get it now. Yeah.
See,
I'm figuring you out. I told you at the start, didn't I? I said I'd figure you out by the time we get to the end of it. So all right, I'm all clued up now. Okay. Yeah, I can't imagine there being 2 days the same, COVID or not, with regards to your, especially once you move between projects and sites and all those kind of things. I can't imagine you get 2 days the same. So, I mean, how does it feel then to be, and I said this in the email to you, didn't I, a role model? You know, did you ever think I'm a role model? Did you ever go to work thinking I'm a role model? And the reason I ask that is because we see a lot of stereotypes. I've spoken to students. I've worked with construction companies within kind of my job, and we've gone out to work sites. We've gone out to a variety of sites, and we've never seen females actually out there in the high-vis jackets doing the building, doing the construction and all the labour side of it. And I think that stereotype still exists from speaking to the youngsters that I teach, the young adults that I teach. So I mean, do you see yourself as a role model? Do you feel that you've got something to prove? Or are we wrong to think like that in the first place?
I would like to think I'm a positive role model for like younger women, and I think the best person I wanted to be a role model for was my daughter, to show her that, you know, the sky's the limit in anything that you want to do. In regards to stereotypes, I think if you let that define you as a person, that's always going to hold you back from whatever you want to do. I didn't let that define me. I'm still an individual at the end of the day. It still is a bit harder because the ratio in regards to men to women on site is a very big difference. The site that I'm working at, it's nice to see there are actually a few females. Like we have two electricians on site, we have a plumber on site, and you know, it's slowly and surely changing. I still think we've got a long way to go, but thank God it is changing, and hopefully, you know, I can pave the way, and other women that are working hard can pave the way for future females and you know, younger women that want to come into the industry and make it a bit easier for them. I would like to say that I am a role model, and you know, if I can help anybody or any woman wanting to get into the industry, I would love to do that. I mean, I did a talk not too long ago in regards to women into construction, talking to women on site, and there was an Asian lady there, and the main question she asked me was, is the women's toilets? Something simple as, is the women's toilets? Yeah. And there is, and if anything, they actually did, and I don't know if it's just where I work, but they go above and beyond, because there are like a limited number of females on site. Like the toilets are pristine, they're absolutely spotless. And you know, another question she asked me, like, how do I feel working with loads of men? I suppose if you're sure of yourself, and you know, like I said, regardless of gender, race, you know, anything, regardless of any of that, like if you're sure of yourself and your confidence, and if you can hold your own, that's one thing I can definitely hold my own. I think they will accept you for who you are, and you know, if you show you're passionate about your job, and also you have to know how to kind of banter. That is one thing I learned, because I'm very sharp with my tongue anyway, Danny, very sharp. So if you don't take yourself too seriously, but you lay your boundaries, then you know, it to be honest, like I said, I think I hope to say I'm lucky, but I've never had a problem.
Good. Well, I hope it stays like that, and you know, whether you realise it or not, there will be people looking up to you going, well, if she can do it, why can't I?
Yeah.
But what a great position to be in, that you're able to do that by doing what you love at the same time as well.
Thank
you. I hope that a few people listening and watching to this, you know, really can't feel like that. So when it comes to, I mean, you mentioned electricians, plumbers, and things like that. There's an age-old saying that, you know, we'll always need tradespeople. Well, if you get a job as a plasterer, electrician, plumber, carpenter, you will always be needed. And every now and again, the government throws out something that means that people are going to be trained in these kind of age-old, centuries-old, in some cases, professions. Is that the case from what you see, that if you can do these trades and do what you're doing, there will always be work out there for you?
Oh, definitely. I mean, even, I have to be honest, through COVID, I had to take a step back and go back to labouring, because I'm not ashamed of it. You know, where there's a will, there's a way. But at least there was work out there, and I do feel in construction there is always something. They're finding new technologies. They're always finding something to do. They're always building, even building sites, or you know, older homes that need renovating. There's so many different trades, even gardening. Like there's so many, infrastructure, every landscaping, architecture. There's so many different things within construction, and I do feel like if you have one of them trades, it's not to say it would be easier for you to find work, but I don't think you would ever go without work. There will always be something. Like I said, I've had to take a step back, but at least they were still labouring for me.
Exactly. Yeah, which is more than what a lot of people can say during the last 18 months or so, isn't there? So, and I noticed as well, you've done volunteering, or you're still doing volunteering. Is that right?
It's the volunteering I do for the homeless.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, I'm still doing the volunteering. It's just it's put the ministry that was doing it had to take a step back because of COVID, because there was a lot of like rules and regulations that they couldn't do because of COVID. But funny enough, we're actually starting to get back out there. So I think there's going to be one in 2 weeks where we'll go out and, you know, we prepare meals. So me and my mum prepare meals, and, you know, the ministry prepares meals, and we go out and they do little toiletries, like women and male toiletries. You know, I like to give back because my mum's always taught me, you know, just because you have today, you might not have tomorrow. So I love to give back. I love to, you know, help people that are in need, because it is such a shame that there is so many people that actually have to fight for food, or there's even people working that are still struggling.
Yeah, it's hard to understand, isn't it? I read articles like that, and I see articles and speak to people, and that it just doesn't add up, does it? You know, that thing where you're doing everything you can, and you're still having to kind of fight that and fight for a place to live somewhere. So I mean, what skills have you developed during that volunteering? Because it's something I bang on about to students all the time. And with volunteering, there's always something that you can find that's your interest, isn't it? Whether it's animals or people charities or the environment, or there's got to be something. Even local sports teams will have volunteers all the time, and you know, we've got the Commonwealth Games coming to Birmingham, and I mean, what skills and things have you developed through volunteering? How's it helped you with, say, your personal life, or your family life, or work life?
I think it definitely shows. I think the biggest thing is to be grateful for what you do have. It's also taught me never to judge, because you speak to a lot of people, and some people it's just circumstances. Some people have literally worked their whole lives and have just ended up in a situation that's led them to be homeless. Some people are alcoholics, or, you know, people would be quick to look at them and think, oh, you're just a druggie or an alcoholic. But, you know, when you listen to their backstories, there's genuinely something that's triggered an emotion or led them down that route. So a lot of people cope with emotions differently. You know, I mean, even in work, it's taught me never to judge. Somebody can have a bad day, and you don't know what's going on at home, you know. And actually, it wanted me to actually do mental health within construction. As you know, there is a lot of suicide rate within construction. So, you know, if they have somebody to talk to, it's better for them, somebody that's not going to judge. And I would actually like to probably pursue that in the future.
Well, that was going to be one of my questions in terms of what's next for you. So again, it's tying in that personal interest and the personal compassion that you have for your fellow human beings, and tying that into your work industry as well. Then, I mean, are you happy where you're at? I presume you'll be staying in the construction industry. I think that's a given, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
And do you see yourself working your way up to maybe even positions that are outside the actual construction site, or do you love that part so much you still want to be in with that in terms of managing projects and things? I mean, what's next for you?
Okay, so my place is on the site. I love being on site. I love being involved. But if I could like work my way up to probably project, not properly, if I could work my way up to project management, but still be involved. And then I even have like a future goal of even being a trainer. And that's a way of giving back and helping others getting into the industry. or I also have high hopes of, as I said, the health and safety of it, as well as the mental health awareness. So fingers crossed, I would love to pursue those in my future. As I said, I do like to give back. So, you know, if I could be a help to anybody else, that's what I would love to do.
Yeah, and your passion for it comes across. I mean, I've only been speaking to you for about 30 minutes, and you can already tell, and I'm sure everybody listening and watching can go, oh, yeah, she means what she says. So, you know, and you really do, you know, that really comes across, and please keep that up. You know, we need all need all that positivity and helpfulness that we can get, and in any time, let alone now. I'm going to throw one more question at you as we finish up here, which I haven't prepped you for. But the obligatory last question. So if you could go back to, say, 16, 17-year-old Iman and say some advice that you wish you'd really listened to or taken on, or maybe used as a mantra as you go through, what would that advice be?
Just to always follow your instincts and your heart. And not everybody's advice is going to be the best advice for you. There's a lot of people that said, you should do this, you should be doing that, you should be doing this. Not everybody's you should is for you, and never doubt yourself or feel inferior or any less of yourself if you don't feel college or university is for you. There are other available things out there to help you get into whatever industry is that you want to do. And just always believe in yourself. To be honest, I don't think I would tell myself anything different because it shaped me into the person I am
exactly
today.
You're in a happy place. You're a mom, you're working your way through, you're helping out your community. You know, why would you want to be different than that? That's amazing.
And I get to tell a lot of men on site what to do, so I'm not complaining.
That's it. And you keep working onwards and upwards so you can do it more. So no,
I was just going to say, I'm sorry. I thought the lighting it just seems so dark in here.
That's all right. I can brighten it up a little bit. You can either get closer to your screens, listen to the audio, or I'll brighten you up as well. So don't you worry about it. Unless you want to do the whole interview again. I mean, we can start again. No? Okay.
I mean, we could try it on Friday.
No, it's fine. We'll I'll use technical wizardry, and we'll find out how much this teacher turned podcaster can brighten up half a screen, and we'll see what happens.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's a good challenge for me. So, well, thank you so much for that advice. You know, not everybody's you should is right for you. That's that's t-shirt worthy. You need to go get that copyrighted tomorrow or something before I do. That's awesome. So, right, well, what I'll do, I'll stop this recording now. Stay on the line. We'll have a little chat before you go. But for now, I'll just say thanks so much for your honesty and advice, and the positivity and your work ethic and everything else that you're doing. And really appreciate you talking business with me. And thanks very much.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
See, told you she was awesome. What a great story that's really inspirational about her career in the construction industry and everything else that she's doing, both as a mom and as a volunteer, to really give back and help make the world a bit of a better place. So Iman, thank you so much, really appreciate it. And to everybody else for watching and listening, thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing and doing all those good things. Please do have a look for Pardo's Business on your social medias. You'll find me on there. And until next time, I'll just say thank you and a cheerio.